Hello everybody, it's Leela.
And Beau.
And welcome back to my channel.
Channel.
Today we are going to discuss episodes 6 and 7 of And Audition, the Howling.
Sixth was the preparations for the, and then 7 was the performances. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember now.
Before we begin, if you like our discussions and you like these sorts of videos, please subscribe, leave me a comment, and suggest what we should make a series about next, or other discussion topics.
Or like if you want to hate subscribe, you can do that too. Like, you know how you like hate reads video or watch videos, you know? Anyway, you could do that. Like, yeah, take that, like, subscribe.
Okay.
Turn on the bell icon.
Okay.
I'm just kidding, you don't have to do that.
So let's get started. These last two episodes were kind of like the same part of the same thing of the same round, so we didn't do last time because it was really just the preparation for performances. The last episode 7 was the performances, and then in 2 weeks from now is the actual final, in which we will decide the group. And I think the length of this show is like just about right, because if it would have gone on any longer, I'd be over it.
So they're skipping next weekend, and that's the voting period, right? Yeah, and we figured out how to vote earlier, right?
Yep.
Because I got to start voting. Do you use an app? Do you use the app?
Let me open my...
Allow me to open my phone. And...
I'll do it in a little bit.
Yeah, but what was the app again?
When we get to that discussion. Weverse.
Oh, Weverse. Of course, they're driving us to those garbage apps.
I'm opening Weverse right now.
Okay, so you vote on the Weverse app, which is Big Hits, or Hive Labels.
Hive's
music
social
thing. Instead of everybody
platform.
working together and sending everybody to one nice site or app, everybody has a separate universe.
Correct.
So anyway, go to another garbage app on your phone and vote instead of just being able to log into it.
It's less garbage than Universe. I'll give it that.
I know, but it's just annoying. Like notification.
We'll get to that in a moment.
You can't vote in the browser there anyway, though. It's all on the app.
Correct.
Okay, that's keeping all the grandparents out.
Actually, no, that's not incorrect. You can vote in the browser, sorry.
Okay, well, then I'll vote in the browser.
Okay, let's start by talking about the performances. All of the members were broken into 2 teams this time, and each team did a vocal performance and a dance performance. So Team A was Kei, Taki, Fuma, Gaku, Maki, Hikaru, Minyoung. And their vocal performance was the song Lights by BTS.
Japanese track?
It is a Japanese title track. I will admit to not being a fan of BTS's Japanese title tracks, but of the 2 performed in the show, this is the one that I prefer more. So they kind of have that on me, and that I like this song better. I thought they did really well. The usual suspects did well. It wasn't really like anything
episode,
new.
Nobody did really poorly. I whenever I see a show and they do this kind of thing, though, it really makes me miss what they did in GP999, which was as garbage as that show was, as hard it was to watch the show. They said 2 groups do the same song, and there's a very obvious comparison and skill level difference, and you really, and it's not boring or anything because you hear the song. It's interesting because you hear it from 2 different places. You get to see the leadership styles. So I thought this was a bit weird because the songs and the dances weren't all equally. They're kind of a bit different. And I understand that's a challenge, but it's not necessarily a proven a way to prove who's really good. It might just that particular song might be hard for them, but the other one might have been easier. So anyway, I thought they did great. The costumes were nice, and they look very cozy. I like this. You can't see it if you're listening to the podcast, the audio only, like if you're driving right now or something, but is that a K?
Uh-huh.
He looks like he's going, ha! Just watch, he keeps going, ha!
Okay.
But yeah, they were good. No, they were actually pretty...
I wanted to give a shout out to Taki, the icon of growth. I was just thinking about him the other day and while watching this, and just like, he has come so far, and he must have worked so hard in these last 2 years.
Man, to get to
where he is today, like, that level of dedication and mad respect for this kid. Good for him.
I'm thinking that what happened is that really awkward phase of when you're a young boy and you hit your voice breaks and all that was luckily skipped for the most part.
No,
He doesn't have a lot of...
He was at that stage on Island, and he was
a little younger, though, like 14.
He was like 15.
Okay,
20.
so he was already...
So on Island...
I thought he was like 12
he was
or 13
like this kind of cute kid who was awkward, who liked to sing and dance, and his desire to do that and his outgoingness did not align with his skill level. He just wasn't there technically. His vocal skills were pretty weak, like really weak at the time.
Yeah,
Dancing technically weak at the time. He just wasn't there, but he was like a young kid who wanted to do this. And the fact that he stuck with it and has practiced for 2 years and comes out here, looks like a mature artist, even though he's like 17 years old, and sings so well.
He's not the best singer, but he
just did
he's
it
got a
so
solid
stable,
foundation.
so solid.
The thing...
Just the icon of growth.
The thing about...
I'm so proud.
When we... And a lot of these idols, I was just thinking today, we don't get to see... a lot of as kids and stuff, but we actually do. It's sometimes in hindsight, though. You don't get to watch it as it goes around. With him, I think when you have a kid there's a million awkward, cute kids who want to sing and dance, and they're just real. There's a billion of them.
Min Young is where Taki was two years ago.
Well, Min Young's more mature than that. I think you're just saying that because of his stature, his size, and his physical
he's
size.
He's in a similar skill level that Taki was a couple years ago.
Yeah, I thought he's a bit
similar age, a little awkward.
He's more mature, though.
Is he, though?
Yes.
I don't know
much
about
more
all
mature
that.
Anyway, what I'm saying is that the secret about that is not that the kid got better at singing and dancing. He's been able to go to the best boot camp for singing and dancing in K-pop in the world, or in J-pop or whatever. So not anybody, but you could take a lot of people. You could put me in that thing, and I would get better at singing and dancing. That's not the secret.
You wouldn't have the determination to keep at something for that long. I know I wouldn't. I've never...
Well, yeah, you can't drink and party.
No, I've never studied and done something and been not good at it and worked hard over a long period of time and got better. I'm the sort of person that's if I'm not good at something right away, I give up.
Right, but
especially when I was younger, I just didn't have the resilience. I was
yeah, but you got
if it
great
was frustrating
grades and
to
stuff.
Me,
you got,
but because it came to me easily.
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
I never tried hard to get better at something that didn't come to me easily. It wasn't a quality that I had. So it's a quality that when we watch these kids and these idols, I'm so proud of them.
Though, it's
to
not.
have that
it's
resilience.
not even. I don't even know that they're. I think you're.
I think
it might be giving too much credit to the personality of the kid as much as his.
Why?
Listen, let me finish. Other than the fact that he's in a system and in a society, maybe a bit, a family, whatever, that encourages that kind of selfless, and that makes a lot of them work really, real hard.
Yeah.
Do stuff like, work a little too hard sometimes.
Yeah.
The secret with kids that are good idols, to me, the only way we can tell, because we don't get to hang out with him and interview him, he could be a complete jerk in person, but I don't think so, is that how they are on stage and with other people, you can see it, body language, stuff like that. And I believe it's because he had the advantage of being in this industry. He lucked out.
By good people.
That's not an excuse. That's not an excuse. But the really secret to that is that deep down there's this little certain type of person, certain little area of a person that allows them to maneuver that world without it becoming and able to survive it and seem to be relatively in touch.
The amount of negative feedback you have to get, and you have to be willing to take it on board and not just haul into a ball on the ground and cry like I would.
Well, yeah.
And take it on board and we can move on from here, but I just wanted to point that out that I adore.
I'm just saying
these kids.
What I'm saying is I'm not trying to belittle what he's saying. I'm actually saying the opposite, is that we often give credit to the wrong thing. It's not just physically getting up and practicing dancing. That's part of it. There is something inside certain people. If you don't have that, you're not going to be cut out for it.
Yeah.
And he seems cut out for it.
I wouldn't.
Kay seems a bit more nervous than Taki does a lot of times. Maki, who has obviously a natural ability to sing, he's surprised us a lot. Has an ease that kind of Taki's got. I can see him being an idol. Gaku, as much as I love Gaku, is awkward stuff. He's still got some distance to go, but you're
he's
rooting.
Not awkward on stage.
Not awkward, but you're still rooting for him because he has that.
He's a delightful
golly gee type of personality. So there's something.
That was their vocal performance.
They did well.
Maki
was the star of it, though. I thought.
Yeah. Maki kind of. Yeah. And Taki, I thought Taki did. Anyway. Their dance performance was Black Swan, which again they had the leg up because it's just the better song.
A harder dance though.
harder dance, but she made both of the dances difficult in that this choreography was different. It was shorter than the whole song. It's like a remix sort of thing. And in it, she put a lot of athletic parts
Flips
of like
and stuff.
Backflips and like.
But she did that knowing
like,
the team
stuff
though,
on the ground,
and they've done that
like,
before.
There was just a lot of acrobatic type stuff in there. That was it was a very showy
I thought it was a bit too much
piece.
In the way that somebody could have got hurt. Like do one flip or something. I just
everybody did backflips.
I was kind of like, can we just chill on the flips? I mean,
and they didn't show them like learning how to do that. So anyway,
and they might have done it before, I guess, but
so it was very well executed. It was nice. Like the standouts were probably Fuma, to be honest, because of he just has a lot of strength.
Fuma
he did like some wild backflip stuff. If you watch his cam, his fan
Fuma's
cam.
a funny guy because he seems more of an older leadership type guy. So when he's showing his ability now as a choreographer and dancer, I think it's going to surprise a lot of people, and that's a nice surprise. Hikaru, I have to say I like Hikaru a lot, but I just don't. He just stops staring at the ground. Like he is so. I don't think that's something you can fix. I think he's always going to be that way, unless he
with
fakes
a lot
it,
of time.
And then it will
He's just
fake.
not there yet.
But in this whole team, there's nobody like him that's at that level where he just seems petrified still.
Yeah,
and he's maybe he's hard on himself. He got that from ballet or something, or maybe he's just not happy, and he probably won't. He probably won't make it.
I think for someone who has that background that he has, and you can certainly see him show that here and do the moves. I'm not as like blown away by that what he's doing. Any more so than what anyone else here is doing.
But
I don't think that it necessarily...
This is some people...
I think with time, now that we've seen them do lots of this, I don't think his skill is necessarily translating to idol.
Right. He has skill. The thing is,
it's not translating to
people
idol.
often do this in idol stuff. They say, oh, they were a ballet dancer. Or in Shouting's case, she was a ballroom dancer.
Right.
That's like saying he plays soccer, so he can obviously play baseball. It's like just because he's athletic.
It's
no,
different.
I'm sorry. There is completely different modes of travel when your body, how you hold it. He's tall and thin for a reason. It works in ballet, So he has to. Somebody's got to wake him up a little bit, or he's got to wake himself up. I don't think he's going to make it, and I think if he did make it, I think he seems like he would be a bit miserable. Maybe he'd get over it. I don't know. Maybe it's the pressure of this, and maybe if he made it, he would loosen up quite a bit.
We'll get to that in a minute.
I don't know, but somebody hasn't taken him really aside. They bothered with Joe, but I'm like, guys, Hikaru is the one who is like, the dude will not stop looking at his toes, man. It's kind of driving me crazy.
Yeah.
And I like him a lot. I like Hikaru.
Unclear if he wants to be
there. He seems popular, too.
Okay, let's go on to the next teams real quick. The other team B, was EJ, Nicholas, Joe, Harua, Yuma, Junwon, and Hayate. They, for their vocal performance, did BTS's song Film Out.
Yeah.
And Yuma hard carried this team. Like,
hard
carried.
And none of these songs were easy.
Team.
Like, isn't that,
He had the most lines, center time, vocal skill. Like, we'll get to it in a minute when we talk about our top fives. But, like, hard carry.
This is him in the front, right? I can't quite see. You notice how he does this thing there, like just little stuff like it's where he kind of leans over as he's hitting it. Like he's got a bit more of his natural stage presence about stuff. In a song like this, she was like, and the singer guy was like, I'm not really looking or listening for ability as much right now. I'm like looking for you selling like the emotion of it. You could. It's so hokey. Sometimes they'll have a K-pop group or a group in general who will sing something and they're trying to look. You can just tell they're not in the moment. They either are or not. And the best way to do that is not be so worried about looking forlorn or sad and just look comfortable, and the rest of it comes with it. And some of these guys have that. I think, he definitely
He was the standout. Everyone else was, like, pretty good.
I mean, it's hard to throw these guys into, like, a vocal song
great.
like that.
Do you have anything else to say on this vocal? I didn't really have much to say. It's not
no, I think it was great. I think good on Yuma.
Yep. And their dance performance song was BTS's Run. It was like a remix of it. I wasn't a big fan of the way it was remixed. I wasn't a big fan of what they did with the choreography. It was, again, they added a bunch of athletic parts. They gave Nicholas
was the b-boy.
Whole b-boy thing in the middle, which I had to put in my gif here. So they had him doing a lot of, like, athletic, like, flips and acrobatic things, but it didn't necessarily flow smoothly together. I think there was just, it wasn't it for me.
No, I didn't feel it that well either.
This wasn't it for me.
Again, though, you're going up against a beautiful song with emotion, with ballet dancing, you're barefoot.
Like, they're supposed to be powerful, but But anyway, aside from that, Yuma also did really well. Like,
yeah,
he did really well. Like,
Yuma's in, probably.
My dude, I've been underrating him this whole time. I feel guilty. Anything else on Run? Sorry, we don't have much to say about it.
It
was okay.
Not a race. It's okay. Calm down.
Well, I'm excited to get to the part where we talk about the group.
Oh, then get to it.
Okay.
Those are our podcast. We can skip all this and talk about whatever.
So we finally know how many members the group is going to have.
15.
They went through the whole stupid thing with the is there going to be enough ANBalls? Are they going to fill it? And everyone goes to the final round.
God.
It's like, oh my God, what a dumb idea. But of course they had enough. But one thing I did want to say, the whole thing where they were like, did you get 100%? Is everyone going to the final round? Like, Hayate, one of my faves, he looked so stressed out. Like, he, fell to the ground. Like,
he had to know they was going to make it to 100. Like, everybody there had to know.
I don't know. I was like, what's going on? Why are you so stressed out?
Did they really expect him to go, you didn't make it, it was at 97%. Yeah. That's just release of stress, period.
It was goofy.
Man, anyway, I was young. I cried all the time,
but they did, the important part, they told us that there are 5 additional trainees that's going to be in this group. So it's going to be a 9 total group.
Which is good.
Yay!
Because you have to have more werewolves than vampires. We always talk about it, but they don't stress this enough. When they fight, you need some extra. Werewolves are not as strong as vampires, or werewolves would live forever. Vampires live forever. They have inhuman strength. They look feeble and tiny, which fits in hyphen. They're like little dudes who would probably have the strength, could lift 1,000 pounds and fly. All these guys got to. This is the crappy thing is. No, they're gonna have to wear hair. They're gonna have to sit in a makeup chair. Actually, that'd be kind of fun though. They being young dudes, they'd probably really like that. Make some good TikToks.
Anyway,
they're gonna look like.
They're not gonna be literal.
They're gonna look
werewolves.
like Teen Wolf, like Michael J. Fox's Teen Wolf.
Anyway, so there's 5 additional. My dream team would have been 11 or 10, but I will take 9 over 7 any day. So
my dream would have been 10 because it's not done anymore. Even numbers aren't done anymore.
And the final selection of who's going to be in the group is split up 40% producers pick, which is the producers we've already seen on the show. 30% special producers pick, which includes Zico, a Japanese music producer who I don't know, and then Scooter Braun or whatever, the American music producer.
Yeah, no, the guys.
So they're
not. They didn't pick out nobody. They picked out people probably from Hive Industries that own them.
Yeah, they're all.
But yeah. Scooter Braun's been doing stuff forever.
And then
his name's Scooter. So.
And then 20% is our preliminary voting, which is the voting period that's now from August 20th to September 2nd.
Yeah.
And then 10% of the live voting on the final.
This makeup here, basically 70% picked by committee, not by the public, is actually very, very appropriate.
I'm fine with that.
Quit screwing around with the votes and getting our hopes up and panic voting and all that. That's fun in a way, but it's also completely you don't feel in control, like you're actually making a difference.
The format of the show has been slightly frustrating
for
a couple of reasons. The ball thing was very silly.
Who cares?
We didn't know how many people were in the group, but
I didn't mind not knowing how many were in the group. Actually, that's fine.
Overall, I actually prefer this system to a 100% vote like Girls Planet. Because that's just crazy when you leave it in the hands of the people.
Well,
it goes crazy.
People buy phones and stuff and buy Sims.
Fans are fickle, weird little creatures. We're all, we don't see the full picture of someone's potential that, especially we're watching them through an edited show. So at least the producers have the full context from which to choose someone that should be in the group. So I respect that.
You also, though, you do get with the public vote, you get you get something a bit more unique. That's how I wound up with Akara and stuff. Now, granted, she probably would have been anyway. But producers in these industries, and K-pop especially, are very generic stuff. The same look we've seen a million times, the same styles. So I don't mind. I'm hoping that the voting, it gives them I want people to vote with whoever they like really strongly, not who they think can get in. So for me, I really like Min Young just because I think he's.
Are you gonna vote for Min Young?
I think I'd probably vote for Min Young, but honestly, I'm gonna vote for my dude Fuma. Come on.
Yeah, you gotta vote for Fuma.
No, of course, but I'm just saying I don't know how many you can pick. I don't know what the
one.
Deal is. Oh, okay.
The voting between August 20th and September 2nd is once per day on Weverse. Go to the Weverse app. There's and audition section. There's a notice at the top. Click on that, and you can vote it in the app. You do it once per day, one pick.
What I'm saying though is, I hope the public really, really pushes the person that they don't go safe. Go with your heart. Go with who you really like, because that will. It's not enough of the percentage to where if 80% came in for, let's say, Fuma or something like that, but it's only 30% of the overall vote. The producers are going to go, this is the public. It's like they're the experts we're deciding, but the people are like, yeah, but here's what we feel, and they're taking into consideration. They're not just letting it drive the whole car, because they are the professionals. They've got an idea of the group they want to make. I am worried about them just being a kind of another little bit generic-y type thing, but the public is going to make. All you need is one or two. What's it called? Dark horses in the group, like unique people to really shake up the found. That's why Kepler, I think, came out a little bit unusual. Is it was voted on people so much, but yeah, I like that formula just fine.
So next we'll move on to talking about our top 9 or top 5.
Top 5
for the top 9. This is my top 5 if I were to pick the group.
Say that's not
tomorrow.
My top
5. I've changed my mind.
Wait, weren't you different?
I put Yuma in. I took out Hikaru. I think that he's just not there yet.
Anyway, yeah,
I really like him. He's a very unique individual.
I like all these kids.
But is he ready? If I'm being really honest, probably not. And I've been overrating Hikaru and underrating Yuma. So I put Yuma in here. His skill level is really high.
Yeah.
He really does have a
Man
lovely
Maki
voice.
though
He's a really
looks
good
like
singer.
I've never seen a Korean K-pop idol who read more like all-American jock boy, like in all his abilities and stuff.
And anyway, Hayate, I still have
I like Hayate.
Have always loved him from the beginning. The last couple episodes, he's been really reserved and quiet and looking a little bit stressed out. I don't know what's going on.
I think
he looked a little stressed out.
I think what happens is the same thing that happened to.
And he's getting 0 camera time, so I just have I have a feeling it might not happen.
You know what I think happens is what happened to so many in GP like that we thought were in for sure, and then you saw Shuri at the getting it near the end. What's her name? Call her Siri. Richie. Richie. Near the end, just get depressed on it. Yeah. It's that rush of everybody. You're everybody's darling, and then you realize your votes.
I don't know if he's ever been anyone's darling.
No, but I'm thinking he was riding this wave, and then he's doubt starting to creep in. I think he's in, but I can't remember if I put him on my list. I think I did.
Maki, you know how I feel. I love Maki. We gotta have Maki.
He reminds me of Woozy in the way that he's just probably super multi-talented at stuff.
I don't know about Woozy. The personalities are not the same.
Well, I'm saying that his look a little bit. He's a little bit of a hobbity looking guy.
He's a hobbit.
They're small.
We also need Maki for the English. Okay, we need it for the international group. So we need the Maki for the English.
Is he?
He's half German.
Oh, that's why I thought he looked a bit like All American Boy.
Anyway, we gotta have Maki for the multilingual.
I didn't know he spoke
English. We love Maki.
He probably speaks German too.
Fuma has climbed up my bias list. He's just such a solid choice. Like I didn't convince you, did I?
You didn't listen to me.
That he looks like a debut idol, and I'm like, then why am I not putting him in my list? He's in my list.
He looks like he's there. He looks like a dad of the group, one of the dads. You need a dad.
And you know how I feel about Gaku. Gaku is my one pick. He is a precious bean.
I think he's a complete nut.
I love his personality. He's just a delightful human.
I don't think he's a normal idol, which is what you want. He's not your standard idol.
He's a goofball. I love him. And he's just like, I love Gaku. I love him. Like,
I don't know what it is. He seems a bit like he's an alien or something. Like sometimes he's just like, he was crying and then he went snap and he's like, I'm back, and it's like, who taught you to do that? What are you doing? He's just a weird kid, which is so good. Weird is good because that means he's an original kid.
Like these are my picks. Okay, I will say realistically.
Who do you think is not going to make it realistically?
So I'll say it this way: my ride or die, can't live without, is Maki and Gaku.
I think they're both in.
Those two are my ride or die.
Those are safe.
No compromise. Hayate is like, I hope it, but I'm gonna prepare my heart for disappointment on him, just because he's gotten no lines and no center time lately. Yeah, that means the producers are not feeling
when
him.
you're that cool looking, like he's a cool.
But he's beautiful.
I think they'd like his look.
Come on.
He doesn't necessarily match the look they might be going for, but I think he's just a good looking kid.
Anyway, so I'm gonna prepare my heart. Yuma and Fuma, I have no idea. It's a coin toss for me.
Yeah.
But I really feel like Joe probably is a shoe-in. I just think the producers like Joe. And Harua, I sort of feel that way a little bit, but not as much as I did earlier in the show.
See, I can't even really remember much about her. Like some of these guys, I mean, they're all good, but sometimes some people don't stick out.
And Hikaru, who knows? Wild card. So I don't know.
I don't think Hikaru's at all. What did I pick though?
Let's go to
what I told you.
Your top 5.
Oh, pretty much the same.
You put the same except for Min Young instead of Yuma.
Mark my words. Minya makes it in. He's a superstar. No. He's a superstar. No. I think he's. I seriously. And I think.
I know that you like him. I don't know.
I like him, and I think that he's one of those idols. He's not going to be. He's like Subin from WJSN. I love idols like that who you get to discover over time, and you get to see them grow. You get to see that's really cool, and a lot of times they're really quirky individuals and stuff like that. I think the thing is how he interacted with TXT, how he's acted on stage. The camaraderie he's obviously getting from being around a bunch of everybody who's taller than him because he's like the littlest child.
Kay loves him. He's always like big brother.
And he's not just a cute little kid. He's just a small in stature. I think he's his soul and his body's telling him to be in something. Yeah. The army, something, a camaraderie thing. I see that. Yeah. But when he's really grooving with people and stuff, he seems completely natural. He doesn't seem nervous. Now, I might have been seeing something else, but to me, he seems completely like he's just relaxed and he needs to be on stage. I think he's a quirky little kid. He's kind of quirky looking, and he's kind of funny. But there's something there that I think would be... I would like to see him for the growth potential. Not that he's there now, but I would like to see that. Of course, Hayate... he's not your normal good-looking guy like Kay. He doesn't fit
It's a different type of good-looking.
And... you could see him looking like a wolf. With the teeth, he's got the sharp teeth. Like you have those sharp incisors. Seriously, he would make a cool looking wolf, right? You got to think about this. They're putting hair on his face. Because Lord knows you're never going to see them with facial hair ever again.
You can't pick him because he would make a good werewolf.
Look at him. He'd make a cool werewolf. He's got the big smile. Okay. And plus, I think he is talented. I think he's just down right now. So he'll be... When you pull the experts in, they'll say, hey, who's this kid? Trust me. Yeah. Maki, again with that All-American thing, just because that to me he's one of those kids who's like jockey and can like your boy from Treasure.
He reminds me of Jungwon from Treasure.
No, well yeah, he reminds me of Jungwon, but your favorite, Macho. He can sing, rap. He's great at sports. He's just this all-around kid. Yeah. He's probably, after being an idol, he's probably going to...
We have to have Maki. No compromise.
I think he's just that. He's that... You want dependable idols in a new group. Or it really, if you had a whole team of dependable...
He is your icon of international idols.
Yeah, he can speak German probably. He can speak English. He can, so there's good. Fuma I've always liked because he isn't... the older guys often don't get a lot of credit. And girls, of course... and others don't always get credit in idoldom because they're older. Yeah. They're getting near retirement age. Let's put them out on the farm,
Yeah, with all these groups debuting 14-year-olds, it's like true. It's hard to really have faith that the industry would give a 23-year-old a chance.
Yes, but what I've noticed is they often like to have the pair of the older and the youngest, because then you have a familial thing, and they know that fans love that. That it's really endearing. Like Eugene, the mom of the group. Is so cute. Like, I didn't like Eugene. I didn't dislike her. She wasn't anything to me until I saw her being like a leader potential. I was like, oh, that's cool. Fuma, I still think would be not the leader, but one maybe co-leader.
You kept saying that. I always pushed back, but you know what? You're right.
You saw him after the choreography.
If he makes it into the group, and it's this lineup or my lineup with him and Kay. I always said Kay would be the leader. Actually, Fuma leader.
But is Kay older? Right. Who's older?
They're same age-ish. Okay.
I think they could be co-leaders.
No, I honestly think Fuma over Kay for leader.
You need somebody who's dependable and...
I always thought it would be... Kay is like center material.
It's morning time.
But not necessarily
It's morning
leader.
Time. 10 little boys need to be woken up because they got to go to practice.
Who's doing that?
A shadow, a silhouette walks into the kitchen sound, pours a coffee. Well, they drink like Coke in the morning, whatever. And sits down and groggily drinks it. Is it Kay or is it Fuma? Who are you picturing? Of course. Yeah. But he's also nice. He's not going to get snippy with people and stuff. He's going to build people up.
He's great.
Kay does that as well, but he's doing that. I think he's kind of pressuring himself to do it a bit.
I think Kay's a little bit more individualistic. Yeah. He's a little bit more of his just like skill.
Picture this:
or whatever.
Fuma, the king of the kingdom of the wolf kingdom with the wolf people. Kay is totally like a knight where he's going out and he's still a very important person in society, a wolf society. He still has
the alpha.
He's the alpha, sure, but Fuma's the leader, and he allows Fuma to lead, whatever. But anyway, I'm just saying, I agree. And if he didn't do the choreography, and he didn't do the flips and stuff he was doing, I started to get, and he sings well too. I started to think, okay, I need to see something a bit more because I just like him as a person. I think I'm kind of pulling for him, maybe because he is older and stuff. He's not. He doesn't have he's a good looking kid, of course they all are, but he doesn't have like the K handsomeness, but he's got that dependable quality to him. So once I found out he can do choreography, and I think maybe he found out he could do choreography, maybe he knew, but I
think he's been
and the guy from BTS the BTS choreographer was like, you're good. I mean,
that's a compliment.
That's something a leader can do.
Yeah.
Do choreography. Gaku is just a weirdo. And Gaku, if you're listening, in the best way possible. You can't understand what I'm saying. Read the translation, though. I just think I like unique idols. Yeah. Sometimes I like this like Umbi from Eyes One. I like dependable where they're just like or Eugen from Kepler, where they're not outrageous or anything. I like that. They're just hardworking. I really admire that. But sometimes you want a nut. You want a Hikaru. You want a Yena from Eyes One, and you want a Gaku. Somebody who's just a bit of a wild card, but is always up. Generally seems always up. Yeah. And is.
So who's your one pick?
Fuma. Okay. I think
my one pick is Gaku with some Maki. I'm gonna go back and forth, and maybe Hayate. It's hard for me to have one. I'm gonna throw my votes around.
Honest to God, none of that we pick make it, and the rest do, and I'd still be happy. Kind of kept none of my picks really made it.
Happy.
No, I'm saying. I like all these kids.
Oh, yeah.
But obviously there's some that are standing out. We know. And so when they said they were making it and 5 of you are going through and 6 are going home, I think they all kind of thought that was fair too. Like you could tell because it's a good enough number. It's almost 50% of them going, sticking around. So it's a good number. What can you do? So voting this week, because we put this podcast out a little late.
This week and next week.
Next week and no show.
September 3rd is the final. And we will be here on YouTube. We're going to do some sort of reaction, whether it's just audio or audio and video. I don't know. Probably
we should stream
just audio.
Just do a live reaction.
We might do streaming. I don't know.
Is it a live show?
It's not Mnet, so I don't think we're going to get copyrights.
Is it going to be a live show or?
I don't know if it's
streaming it live?
I don't know.
Because when we watch it streaming, that's not live on TV live. That's where they normally show it live, right?
It's not like live. It's like recorded, obviously, and edited.
Because GP99 was live at 5 in the morning or whatever. Yeah, okay. It's not like that.
It might be. I don't know.
That'd be fun. I love that stuff. I love staying up late for that stuff.
So we'll see. But we'll be here to go through the emotional turmoil that is the final announcement.
I don't think it hasn't been that emotional so far. I like that. Because it's not been this torturous thing. Yeah. The end will be very emotional.
Yeah.
And so it'll be nice to have a good cry and everything at 6 in the morning.
Not eliminating anyone along the way means you get attached to everyone.
Yes, but it also means other labels and groups can scout them out and snatch them up.
Yeah, that's what I think about all of the other members. Similarly to how almost all of the members of Island have gone on to do something at this point.
They should, because it had a while for people to get to know them and stuff. Some of them drop out, don't want to do it. Like a car might drop out. You never know. All right. It was a good show.
Okay. So thanks for listening, everybody. Leave us a comment with your top 9. And we will see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye.